Authentic Experts with Kara James, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet. Hear their stories and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Authentic Experts with Kara James is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Kara.
Hello, everybody. Kara James here from Authentic Experts. And with me today, I'm so excited. We've gone back and forth. And finally, I get Carlyn Bushman here with me. And I'm really excited for all of you to hear what she has going on. Carlyn's a mom, wife, and lifelong learner who has experienced success in both the corporate and small business worlds. She has extensive knowledge and expertise in marketing, management, technology, and business financials, all of which she's acquired throughout her career. Carlyn has climbed the corporate ladder and has also created and run several small businesses from the ground up. And with her unique understanding of the complexities of starting and operating a business, she's now dedicated to helping women-owned small to medium-sized businesses create reliable, sustainable revenue streams. Wonderful. We would all love that, Carlyn. So glad to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Kara, for having me. And I too feel like I have known you for so long at this point. So this is a great opportunity to see you live and in person. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, so glad to have you here. So let's dive right in. We were talking about the things that I jokingly rolled my eyes at, is the numbers and how important it is, right, that we know our numbers and just all the financials in our business. And I think a lot of us don't like to do that. And you do. So we want to hear from you. Get us excited about it, Carlyn.
Well, I try to keep it fun. There's no question about that. And it's funny. I was on a group call this morning with some of my colleagues, and I asked them, specifically, when you think about my business, what do you think about? Like, what would you say my business, how could I help you? And they said, well, you measure everything. You're known to set up spreadsheets, are your love language. You're known to set up dashboards and spreadsheets to measure things inside of a business. And I thought, oh, that is great. That's exactly what I want to be known for, is to be able to identify key metrics inside of your business so you can make really great decisions. It's really important.
Yes, it sure is. And just to have the love to do that, because there are so many that don't, but yet we all need it. So you must be just completely swamped, I would imagine. You know, it's critical what you're doing for all businesses to succeed. So
it is critical.
Don't realize it, you'll find out quick.
Right. And I think it can be intimidating. And I think the sooner you get over that obstacle, that it's not a bad thing to look at the numbers inside of your business. And you don't have to, and I was reminded of this as well this morning, you don't have to look at 17 KPIs, key performance indicators inside of your business to get started. I think everybody gets in and they think they have to measure everything. And all of these numbers are coming at them fast and furious. And they're not even sure, myself included, what they always mean or what is the story they're telling. So keep it really, really simple right out of the gates. And I'm a huge fan of entering the particular numbers. Let's just take, and we can get gritty here for a minute, taking your sales line, your top line, what you would call your top line revenue, your gross revenue, your gross income, whatever that number is in your business, product or service space, equally important. And drop that into your spreadsheet, or what I refer to as a dashboard. And we begin to really develop a dashboard for your business that really meets you where you are in your journey of your business. This is not templated. We start with something and then we build on it. And I have clients that I've had for several years now. And if you look at their dashboard today versus their dashboard when we started the process, it's incredible, because we've been able to take data year over year and really make great decisions inside of the business to decide, do we layer on additional marketing for this month or this quarter? Do we pull back? Do we push our advertising? Do we develop a new product or service at this point where we can see it drip or drop down? So it's really important, but don't get overwhelmed. It's so much fun when you start to look at it. And I know that's contrary to, what most people think of numbers sometimes, but it really is. It's enlightening.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. It's got to be enlightening. So with that said, are you meeting with your clients once a month or is it quarterly? Okay, once a month. And that's great. So you're going over the numbers right there each month and figuring out what's dipping, what's going up, what's working, what needs to be tweaked, that type of thing.
Yeah, it really happens. It really is dependent upon the client. We have some clients, we talk to them every single week. I have clients that I talk to every single week, which is great. And we do, I can do a month sprint, 2 month sprint. Sometimes you just need to get set up and off to the races you go for a while. It's not something you need to do for an entire 12-month year necessarily. Then we have other clients where we actually do it for you. And we do the email marketing, we do the social media, we do the website development. I have a Shopify strategist on my team. She is really, really good at Shopify and using the right applications, what's going to get the most bang for your buck, basically. And I'm very budget sensitive and budget friendly because it's important when you're starting a business. I certainly don't want tech to be taking up a lot of expenses and or consultants or right. Yeah. So you have to be very aware because part of what you put into your dashboard is your expense line. You have to get a handle on that expense line too. So to answer your question, it varies from some clients are weekly. And then I have a program where I actually meet with clients once a quarter for 2 hours and we deep dive and do reviews of quarter over quarter because that's all they need is that piece. Sure. And it's sort of kind of what you've described. It's as if I'm part of their virtual board. So I'm just another set of eyes and ears to be able to help them navigate the strategy inside of their business.
Yeah, great. And so great for them to just know in the back of their mind that you're there, right? They have somebody to fall back on. A lot of this, we talk about this a lot. But the guess is just being alone, working alone for most of us, right? Most of us do, or it's so nice when you do have that mentor or coach that you can just run things by. And even if it's just getting that confirmation or even something, feedback on things and then truly, if you don't know, even more important to have that. So that's great.
Yeah. And I think to look outside your family and friends, right? We think when we start a business and your family is surrounding you and they're so excited for you, or, there's that level of energy there that is always supportive, or maybe not. Either way, I guess it could go. But it's nice to have somebody from the outside to be able to, like you said, look inside that business. I personally have a business coach. I'm a huge believer in having that second set of eyes for myself or to bounce things off of, because you feel like you're in a silo sometimes trying to make all these decisions. And to your point, you're exactly right. Sometimes I know the answer, but it's really great to have somebody to just say, can I give me some feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, all right, I knew that, but at least I feel better moving on. It's kind of like that sigh of relief. And I agree. Always need to have somebody in your corner, somebody to bounce ideas off of and of course learn from too as well. So
and stretch you. It definitely gets me
it sound like I know everything and I'm just getting the pat on the back. No. The help and for sure. Great. So what's the process when you work with clients? Give us a typical process. Sorry, Wendy.
Yeah, well, we really go through a 3-step process, which is we get really grounded in your business. The first thing is to get grounded in your business, and that's to unpack everything inside of your business, whether you're starting out a product or service, and what are your offerings or what are your products, and what are your price points, and are they the right price points for your value? If you're a service-based business, definitely do not undervalue your service. That's a big conversation. If you are a product-based company, making sure your cost of goods actually includes everything inside of your cost of goods. It's not just bringing developing a candle and then just selling it for twice the amount that the ingredients cost you. There's more to it than that. So really understanding your cost of goods in your product and understanding your value you add in your service-based business. So that's the grounding. So we just got to settle in there for a minute. And then on that, the next step is goals. So grounding first, then you set your goals. And that might be your North Star. That could also involve a nonprofit, your give back, whatever success looks like for you. Is that also potentially taking 2 months off during the summer? How are you going to set your goals up so that you can do that and feel good about it? And Then the third step is growth. And really, that's where the measurements come in, of course. They come in all the way through, but the measurements really come in and looking at your growth and the expectation of your growth. And what is the number you want to get to, or what is the impact you'd like to make, or the lives you'd like to touch. If you're in a non-for-profit, what does that look like in your reach? All kinds of different things. So really, we go through those 3 steps. And with those 3 steps, there's 4 pillars. It's really straightforward. And you mentioned them in the bio, which is fabulous. It typically leads off with the financials. So the 4 pillars are the financials, the technology, the marketing, and the management. And really, in any business, those 4 pillars are what drive your business. Hiring the right people, that would come under management, getting the right technology stack to work for you, not that you're working for technology. And of course, marketing is sales, and I combine marketing and sales together, and then financials is the driver. So it's really set up as a system that is bespoke to your business. And we work towards what is the priority at the time inside of your business. Are you ready to hire somebody new, and how will you onboard them? What does that look like to make it successful, as an example?
Yeah, great. Wow. Well, that all sounds perfect. I know I'm racking my brain here for a minute, like, okay, she covered it all. She got it all. So there was, just thinking the day-to-day quickly. It is just under those 4 pillars for sure.
Well, and delegating comes into play so much, right? Our calendars.
Yes,
I mean, you and I spoke about our calendars and delegating the right stuff and not delegating certain things. And how do you get that all to work together? And then technology lining up behind that. I was on a podcast recently, and she mentioned, she goes, every time you have to hit or I think I might have heard this on her podcast, every time you have to touch the keyboard, is there a technology solution to touching the keyboard? Is there something that can be automated? And I thought, wow, that's interesting. Like that would be really interesting to be able to see how much you can get your technology to really help you in certain aspects. Then there's the flip side of that. I'm a very big relationship person. So developing those relationships with those that I work with and really getting to understand their business is really important to me.
Yeah, that's huge. That can't go away. We can't become that automated and I am all about automation. And matter of fact, this chat GPT, I'm like, this is incredible. But no, it doesn't take away from that human aspect that, the relationship building and chatting and laughing. And I love meeting people like you, and just, we can't automate everything. So
agree.
But that's a great point. And what tool do you typically recommend for your clients? Is there a tool that you have that you recommend?
I am a huge fan of Airtable. And if you haven't thought or used Airtable, I was just talking about Airtable this morning with another client call. She asked me, here's a good example. She asked me about networking and networks, and how do I know which networks have been beneficial and which ones have maybe not, or whatever the case is. Well, I use Airtable as my internal CRM, and CRM is a customer relationship management system. And I use Airtable because it's like Excel, except, a little bit more robust. It has a lot more functionality than just your straight up Excel or your Google Sheets. But it's not like Salesforce. It's not to that level. It's not to that enterprise level. So it's a nice mid-size or, small option, and it's free. So the beauty of it is free up to a certain point, but I've used it for several years now and it's still free, which is great. Yeah. And what you can do from a networking standpoint is I put in all the conversations I have within certain networks, and I tag the network. So if it's, I don't know, a local chamber of commerce, maybe somebody like Entreprenista League, maybe somebody, like Women's Group of Phoenix or something of that nature. I can put where I met the individual. And then what I do is I actually track the business I get out of that particular network by name. So I can tell you exactly the amount of business, even down to the dollars, that I received from that particular network just by having authentic conversations. It's a really easy way to track that. So now I know, okay, yes, that would make a good sense for me to renew within that network. And then the other one would be like, maybe I should put that one on pause and really double down on the network that seems to be my avatar.
Yes.
So Airtable is really great for also documenting all those authentic conversations.
Definitely going to look into that, just for that, even just for that reason.
Yeah.
And, just add that in just for that. That's excellent. Speaking of which, I always give a shout out to Entreprenista League. The amazing women that are in there, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable, the level of professionalism and just, everybody that I've met has just been fabulous like you. So.
Well, and I think they're all willing to help, or anybody who's involved is willing to help each other. There's enough business to go around where I think somebody poses a question inside their circle and there's so many individuals who jump on and say, oh, what about so-and-so and so-and-so? And it's just to help all of us help each other, which that up levels all of us together. So it's encouraging, it's authentic, it's transparent. I really feel good about it as well.
Yeah, no, it's great. And just there's so many different CEOs, because a lot of I'm in a lot of different groups and things, and it's mainly coaches, service providers, that type of professional, and which is fine. But when I got into Entreprenista League, I thought, oh my goodness, this is just great. I love meeting people with all different backgrounds. So and just tell us, Carlyn, about the program that you have. Sounds really interesting. We were talking about it before we went on air, so I'd love for everybody to hear about that.
Yes, I'm excited. I do it twice a year. There are only 10 seats available, and it's called Pop Academy. And Pop Academy will launch it in May of 2023 and September of 2023. So it's flanked on both sides of the calendar. And the beauty, POP stands for progress over perfection. And it's really important to me that you just get started. And we started by really custom building a dashboard for you inside of your company and keep it. My Achilles heel is to typically offer too much too fast, and it's overwhelming. We do not do this in Pop Academy. I have noticed that I do that often, and I get very, very excited, which is why that happens. So we start and we build on it. So week one, we'll literally set up your dashboard. So you'll be able to go in and start to get really comfortable with it. Then we go through 5 weeks worth of education, building your business acumen, understanding different aspects of running a business. And it's really set up, Kara, like a collegiate course, almost as if you would think of an intercession. That's how it's set up. And it is really geared towards female entrepreneurs that are just getting started or a little bit into it and are ready to put some processes in place. So I would say typically the attendee is 3 years and less. 3 years or less in business is a good benchmark. And like I said, it's 10 seats only, just because I teach it and I really pay close attention to everyone individually so we can get this set up for everybody specifically and how it meets the needs of what they need in their business.
Perfect. I'm jotting all this down. I could definitely have people that I could refer to you. It sounds great. That sounds great. So, and twice a year. Perfect.
Oh, yes, only twice a year. I think it's great. And I think, May is great because then it allows you to get set up for going into the summer and planning for your holiday, whatever your holiday is going to be. If you're product based, it's great to get ready and lined up to plan for the holidays for your business. And the same with the service business. What does that look like? How are you going to make some changes? Then September is really great because it allows you to really reflect on the previous year and what's going on, and then set your goals and your forecasts for the next year. And it's early enough. When I was in corporate, all of our budgets and forecasts were due in like that August, September timeframe, because I worked for a publicly traded company. So we were into budgets already, of course, in August and September. So this sets you up for success and making some decisions, just as we've talked about. The numbers tell you the story. Sure. To really lean in and see what your next year looks like.
Yeah, that's great. And, I would have thought that would be too early, but you just explained that absolutely not. So great to know. Really great to know. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
And I ask everybody at the end, if you have a book that you recommend for audience.
Yes. Well, I was recently recommended this book, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but it ties in perfectly with today's conversation. And it is the book, The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease. And I wrote tons of notes through this book. The beauty of this book, like that is near and dear to my heart, is he makes numbers and money fun instead of stressful or annoying or uncertain, right? It can do all these funny tricks to us. So he makes this very entertaining. He was a comedian prior to writing this book, and he's got some great industry experience now to be able to write this book. So like I said, he adds a lot of entertainment value to this, but it's really worth reading because it's all becomes, after you look at your financials, then you kind of get into your head and you have to overcome that money mindset. And that's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother conversation. I am certain of it. But the whole giving money control or not so much control and how to work through that. This is a great book that actually walks you through it. So I was thrilled that somebody recommended it to me.
Yeah, thank you. And I love anything. I'm saying I love comedians. I love to laugh. That's my favorite person. So I already jotted that down and I will be getting that. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. And thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure to finally meet you. We've, again, like I was telling everybody when we came on, we've gone back and forth a little bit, and it was on me, but I got her here.
Yes.
So, all right. Thanks, Carlyn. Hopefully you'll come back. We can have another chat another time, maybe about the money mindset side of things too. So
I would love that, Kara. I've really enjoyed today, and anything I could do to help you or serve your listeners at any given point, I'm here. I'm an open book, and I've got lots of free resources on my website.
Thank you, Carlyn. And with that said, please tell everybody where they can find you. The easiest way to find you. Yes.
Of course. CarlynBushmanConsulting.com and Carlyn Bushman Consulting on all the social handles.
Yep. Great. Thank you again, Carlyn. We'll see you soon.
Sounds great. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Authentic Experts with Kara James. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.